President of Nigeria, honorable ministers and commissioners in the room, Director Generals of NCC, NITDA, and all the relevant agencies here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And great to have you in the capital of Scandinavia, Sweden. My name is Antonia Adnaiwa. I'm the Regional Director for North Swedish Trade and Invest Council. We are the official trade and investment promotion organization of Sweden, owned by the Swedish government and the Swedish industry. So we are owned by Sweden. And this unique position, of course, gives us the access to government, private sectors as well. Our mandate is really to help Swedish companies in their growth journeys abroad, but also to bring investment to Sweden. So to achieve this mandate, of course, it means we need to promote the countries to which we're focusing on with Swedish companies as well, and towards the governmental representatives and other ones as well. We believe in progress by sustainable trade and cooperation. And for us, this means all trade engagements for small companies looking to enter a market, looking to partner, but find the key partners or distributors, but also to large companies looking to invest in a large infrastructural project or work with the government. And what Sweden have done is now to create an enabler around all these needs and all these goals for this partnership. And that enabler is the Team Sweden. To facilitate this engagement, Team Sweden is a network of government authorities that complement the development and needs of Swedish companies abroad. So we work closely together with Swedish companies in large international infrastructure projects, from solutions to financing to capacity building, some of which you have here, towards really a long-term partnership with you in the room and others in the country. So Business Sweden is the official global coordinator and facilitator of Team Sweden, coordinating our engagements from the optic of trade. What do we want to achieve? And as with Sweden, we are a small team. So in order to be efficient in Africa, we focus on prioritized markets, of which Nigeria is one. And based on this, we match the areas of focuses of Sweden to the needs and focus of the countries for optimal engagement, which then means that we focus on, for instance, renewable energy, sustainable transport, healthcare, mining, and for us all facilitated by digital economies and sustainability. With this, I would like to hand over back to Pia so that we can meet the other enablers that we bring all together to work with us in promoting progress by trade.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pia, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Swedfund is the development finance institution of Sweden, and our mission is to reduce poverty and support sustainable development. And we do this in two ways. First of all, we do investments in the private sector, in local private companies in the countries where we operate. And as a matter of fact, Nigeria is the country where we have the third highest exposure in our current investment portfolio. We have more than 30 direct or indirect investments in Nigeria in different sectors, but a lot of them are geared toward the energy sector, helping produce clean energy from renewable energy sources. The other instrument we have to deliver on our mission is the Swedfund Project Accelerator. This is a program where we partner with public entities in countries and support and partner around the development of high priority and sustainable infrastructure projects. So with the Project Accelerator, we can provide grant funding for tailor-made analytical work and studies that help advance sustainable infrastructure projects. More easily put, I mean, we want to generate more sustainable and bankable infrastructure projects. And here we work closely with our Team Sweden members to become a better partner with the local project owner that are involved in these projects. We have ongoing activities in Nigeria. We're working, for example, in Lagos with the Lagos Metropolitan Area and Transport Authority, supporting them in developing public transportation and in their mission to do a green transition in the transportation sector. But we're also open to additional opportunities in sectors like transport, energy, healthcare, and also in digitalization, as mentioned, is a key component going forward. And we had a very good meeting earlier this week with the Nigerian Communications Commissions, and we were quite impressed with their vision and their work to expand broadband deployment in Nigeria, and specifically in underserved areas. So this is one of the discussions we're really excited on continuing to see if we can collaborate on that topic.
The Swedish Export Credit Agency, EKN, and where I have a regional focus on Africa and Middle East, and specifically the telecom sector. But I travel now and then to Nigeria. So the EKN, we're commissioned by the Swedish government to support and promote Swedish export. And this we do by insuring export companies and banks for the risk of non-payment in export transactions. And last year, EKN issued guarantees in the amount of $10 billion to 123 countries, so we act globally. And we act like an insurance company. We make markets accessible and we enable financing. So when buying Swedish goods and services, the buyer does not only get access to high quality Swedish products from Swedish companies, but also attractive financing and diverse sources of financing through an export credit. A guarantee from EKN is a guarantee, as Pia said here, from the Kingdom of Sweden with AAA rating. So in short, the Swedish export credit system provides a win-win solution for the exporter, but also the buyer of Swedish goods and services. So then what do we do in the sub-Saharan region? I'm proud to say, and I won't have to brag as well, as one of the earlier speakers said, but we are actually one of the export credit agencies in the world that do most business in the sub-Saharan region. And we are not afraid of assuming risk. And this region is overexposed in our portfolio as compared to Swedish exports. So we have around 10% of our volume goes to this region. And our vision is that all markets should be available to our exporters at any time, even the difficult ones. And we can see that even in markets with high risks, there are strong credit risks and there are strong projects with repayment capabilities. So what do we do in Nigeria then? We are open for risks in Nigeria, and we do business in telecom sector, transport, machinery, agriculture, and other sectors as well. And this is a very large and important market for our Swedish exporters. And we are closely watching the reforms taking place in Nigeria and view this as positive for the future. And finally, again, together with our sister organization, SEK, we provide a world-class export credit systems for buyers of Swedish export. Thank you.
Thank you. We represent the SEK, the Swedish Export Credit Corporation. That's one leg of the export credit system, the other being EKN. And as Katarina said, together we form a world-class system. Yeah. It's definitely one of the most flexible export credit system that you will see out there. So SEK is a bank. If you're the insurer, we are the bank, a state-owned bank, fully supported by the Swedish government, and our mandate is to finance our exporters, their customers, and subcontractors out in the world, in markets such as Nigeria. I think if there was one member missing here for us, it would be the banks. SEK being a fairly small organization in a fairly small country, we do team up with banks, global commercial banks, and we have agreements with most of the banks out there. I know for a fact that they are very keen to do more in your region. I have many good discussions. We see great potential for this. And as Katarina mentioned, they issue a AAA rated guarantee, which is fairly rare out there, which gives us and the banks a good comfort in financing export transactions. at some very attractive interest rates, both fixed and floating. Long tenors, we can finance up to 22 years fixed tenors, which gives you as borrower a very good comfort. You know exactly what you will be paying over the years. And I think also worth mentioning and talking about flexibility, we do finance Swedish exports, but we also finance the whole project. As long as there's enough Swedish contents, we are willing to look at financing the whole project, of course. And I think in terms of what SEK is doing in Africa, we team up with EKN, so I will not echo we're involved in the similar sectors, transport, new energy, infrastructure, healthcare, and so on. It's a region where we see a great potential. We've been doing business there for many, many years. And Nigeria specifically, considering the size of your country, the importance of your economy in the region, we see a huge potential for Swedish exporters to do more. And as you see, we're a big team up here to support you. So we look forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Henrik. Good to know more about the Swedish export credit system. Now, how SIDA is involved in Team Sweden.
Good morning, Your Excellency, colleagues and friends, all protocol observed. Thank you very much for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the Swedish International Development Agency and our work in Africa and in Nigeria. SIDA manages approximately half of the Swedish Development Corporation funding from the state aid, which in total is about 53 billion Swedish crowns. So we manage around half of that. And we do this throughout Africa and globally. And in many ways, in many countries in Africa, we have bilateral strategies where we have development cooperation as part and parcel of our embassies. In other countries, such as Nigeria, we work primarily through our partnerships with multilaterals and a very strong cooperation with the Team Sweden engagements. But I want to emphasize and stress, remind us all of our presence in Nigeria through our multilaterals. We met there I returned from Lagos just this morning on a mission for about a week with colleagues in the team here. And we had very constructive discussions with the multilaterals that supports all of our ambitions in the sectors that were described by colleagues: renewable energy, urban transport solutions, health, digitalization. So let's not forget the strong foundation that we have in the multilateral structures. Now, Swedish Development Corporation works very much around supporting transformative change in the societies where we engage. We have a number of different strategies to engage. We work in all sectors of society. In Nigeria, in particular, we work with the private sector as our prime motor for transformative change. So we work with the export credit agencies and with Business Sweden that you've already met, and together with NIR that is just coming on. We follow the companies, we look at the potential for transactions, and we work around the transactions to create an institutional framework that can carry also a transformative change throughout society. Capacity building in public institutions, in private institutions, universities, so forth, to create a business environment that will ensure that the transactions and the business investments that are being undertaken will actually lead to not only good profits for the companies, but also good profits for people living in poverty, for future generation, and for the environment. So this is a very comprehensive approach, and I believe strongly that the systemic approach that is offered by Team Sweden as a joint venture is really a fantastic offer, not only for Nigeria, but for Africa and for all of us, because it ensures that we have a long-term perspective and a sustainable footprint. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Honorable ministers and dear guests. First, I want to say it's nice to be back here at the Epicenter. I see a few familiar faces. I used to run a startup and then I was based here at the Epicenter. Today, I work for the International Council of Swedish Industry. We are a member organization for the large Swedish companies, including SEK, EKN, and one of a large bank. What we do is to improve business conditions, and we have been doing so since 1960. And one need our members have is to make the international projects sustainable. Therefore, we have one program we call a Sustainable Impact Accelerator, which tap in to what my colleagues here have talked about from Team Sweden. So, the purpose of a Sustainable Impact Accelerator is to provide capacity to the institutions and project owners in the countries where we are working to support implementation of sustainable and bankable projects. The projects we involve in must have a significant sustainable impact potential. Let me give a few examples from Africa where we're working. In Mozambique, for example, we're supporting the transformation of an electricity system. If you're good in Portuguese here now, we're supporting Electricidade de Moçambique, I think it's called, I'm not Portuguese. With an environmental and social management system to develop it, but also provide capacity to implement the system. In Tanzania, we're supporting railway projects to make sure this railway project fulfill the international standards of sustainability. And by that, the Swedish companies and the international companies can play a role in it, and so can the financiers. We just come home from West Africa. We have been in Côte d'Ivoire, in Abidjan. We have been in Lagos, in Nigeria. Here we support with the waste to biogas to transportation. You see this in Stockholm when you've been around. All the buses here run on biogas. A Nigerian delegation was in Stockholm in April, and they are highly impressed with what they see and say, this is what we want to do in Lagos. And this is where the capacity building play a role. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So enlightening. Thank you, Henrik. And now it's time for Ms. Attitude. And you also have programs covering Nigeria, right?
We do. Good morning, Your Excellencies. It's a pleasure addressing you here today, talking about what we do at the Swedish Institute. The Swedish Institute is a government agency with the task of creating confidence and trust in Sweden. And we do this in various ways, and I will share two ways today. One is our scholarship program, where I'm happy to say that we currently have 30 Nigerians studying, pursuing their master's degrees at different universities, and they study various areas such as public health, energy, they study business management, and the interest for studying in Sweden among Nigerians is very high. Last year, Nigeria was one of the top 3 countries of foreign students wanting to pursue their master's degrees. And so, of course, in our scholarship program, the quality of the applicants is excellent, and we have a hard choice in deciding who will be awarded this scholarship. It is worth an applaud, I agree. Now, Nigeria is an important partner to Sweden also in many different ways. We have, for instance, our leadership program. And currently, we have 5 Nigerians who are here in Sweden, and they are executive leaders from different companies. And this program is called the SI Global Executive Program, where we have excellent support from Business Sweden in recruiting our participants to this program. And they are sustainability champions. They want to make sure that they are helping, accelerating the green transition. And we're happy to support them doing that by not least connecting them with different Swedish companies who also have the same vision. And next week, in this very room, we will be hosting yet another Nigerian delegation in another leadership program that we called Impact Pioneers. And this is for the startup community. And here our vision is to make sure that we connect the Swedish and Nigerian ecosystem to accelerate exchange and new solutions. Now, just to conclude All the Nigerian participants we have are, of course, excellent ambassadors for Nigeria, and we hope that the time that they spend here in Sweden will also stay with them and that they will serve to strengthen the relations between our two countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we're going to go a quick round. What is the main message you want to convey today?